What up, y'all? This is Straw Hat Yomo, and
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's your boy, young Dcentos in the flesh, man. Got the cam out. Yo, what's going on? What's going on? How y'all living,
there
man?
we
How y'all
go,
living?
there we go. Yeah, you can finally see our faces, what we look like.
Yeah.
Um, Contrary to other people's belief, I am not white. I am
Oh
black,
my gosh, this guy.
and Dcentos is black too. So,
Oh
in
my
fact, we're
god.
Nigerian. How
Oh,
many how many other Nigerian people do you see
I'm about to
talking
cut
about
this intro.
anime?
I'm about to cut
So
this.
yeah, yeah,
I'm about.
yeah.
I'm about to cut this intro, man. I'm just. Y'all see what's on the screen, man. We trying to talk about 86, man. 86. That's 80 plus
Mhm,
6. That's 43 times 2. That's 85 plus 1.
mhm.
That's quick math for you. But
Yeah,
yeah.
there we go.
Tell me, man, how you feel about 86? How you feel about this show?
Uh, so on the internet, I've been seeing a little bit of hype for this show. I've been seeing 86, 86, 86.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like SAO, it's a light novel, all these different things. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not a big fan of SAO, but I'll give
SAO.
this show a chance. Yeah, some people said it reminded them of SAO. I
Nah, that's
don't know how.
nah, that's a fallacy.
Um,
Nah. There's no
yeah,
way.
but I gave the show a chance,
Mm-hmm.
watched it. Um, it's alright. It's not one of those shows that I feel like I needed to watch, but
Okay.
I don't see it as going up to the hype as what people were saying. Like it's okay. It's basically what it is. It's okay.
So you don't like this 8.20 score right here on the
What is
My
it
Anime
again?
list.
8.20.
You
Nah.
disagree with that?
For me personally, I'm giving the show like a 7.5. But hear me out. While I was watching
Mm,
this show, it didn't really like captivate me. Like I was on my phone for like some of the most of the time. So like there were some things I feel like I missed, but I still
uh,
understood like the
so you're not
overall
paying
thing of what
attention.
was happening. I was paying
Mm,
attention, but the show like didn't captivate me like other shows.
okay.
Like there's a show that we're gonna talk about that captivated me from like the very beginning. But this show was like,
Mm, okay.
you know,
This show, cause it's basically a mech anime, and I'm usually not a fan of mech anime, but
yeah.
when I first started the show, I was very off put because in the first like 15 minutes, there are so many terms from the show that are thrown at you. Was it like a like the what's the name? Shoot, I can't remember the name, but there's like so many terms.
86.
Yeah, like the 86 and like the spearhead and like
Yeah.
you're like the Legion and they're under handlers.
Undertaker and
Yeah.
all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, like they said this all in the first 15 minutes and they didn't explain none of it. I was like, what do these terms even mean? Why are you giving me so much dialogue that I don't really get it? So that was like my first con about it. But you know, I actually like the show. It kind of reminded me of like I would say, maybe Darling the Franks, maybe Aldo No Zero. It kind of gave me that kind of vibe. But I mean, like the show, and we are doing spoilers. So if you haven't seen the show, man, I don't know, man. Close
Yeah.
your ears or do something. But the show
Yeah.
it starts
Yeah.
off. What's this girl? Malaise. Vladlina. Vladlina.
I
Is
don't
that
even
good?
know bro. I can't even tell you anybody's name except for the main
Oh,
character,
oh,
Undertaker. That's
oh my,
about it. That's all.
oh my gosh! I
That's all
got
I know.
I got the character list pulled up so they can see. But nah,
All right.
this guy, no, I think Vladdy is like a fake Russian name. But anyway, it starts out her and she is basically I guess she like a handler, or she's like basically she's in the
Yeah.
military.
Yeah, she's in the military and she's in charge of this.
Mm-hmm.
They assign her to like a certain group of people called
Mm-hmm.
the 86.
86. Yeah.
And I kind of don't get what these 86 people are. So I guess these 86 people are people who don't really fit in
Yeah.
with today's like their society standards because everybody in that's in charge or
Mm-hmm.
like they were upperclassmen, they all have the same look. They all have the same color hair,
Right.
same color eyes, all the same look. But these
Yeah.
86 people are different from these people, and they're considered lower classmen because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
so
like
they're used to fighting wars against a
yeah,
robot army. So
yeah. So basically, it's basically racism. Think like World War II and what happened.
yeah,
That's what it
yeah.
basically is. So I mean, There are what there's 80, I think it was like 80, there's 86 districts, right? Or no, it's 85 of them that they actually count. And basically, if you listen to district 1 through 85, in the past everyone was there, but then they decided to exclude everyone who had different color hair. So if you don't have white eyes and white hair, then they can see you in 86. So I think they explained that everyone used to live in harmony, and then one day when they made a decision, they all got exiled to the 86 nation, and these people are basically considered like subhuman slash like humanoids, and it's crazy that they even did that because I think they say well like a couple years prior they all used to live together, but I guess because there was a war coming up, they say you know what, we're gonna sacrifice these group of people that look different, and we're gonna make them fight the wars. And everyone else, we're just gonna say, you know, um, because it is a mech anime, we're just gonna say, you know what, the 86 are fighting these wars, and these people don't exist, and because they don't exist, they're basically not casualties in the war, and it's really crazy to think of. They're not even considered human, and for the most part, the society or they don't even know they exist. The only people that actually know they exist are the military. So that's where the main character comes in. She's basically like a squadron commander of a group of 86, and uh you know uh and basically with her, she has a problem with this. She has a problem that she's in charge of these 86, and she's not actually on the battlefield. She's talking like via like Wi-Fi or something. They had like some type of what's it called, like raid or something. What was the talking system called?
Yeah, I forgot what it was called,
It
but it
was
was essentially like it's kind of like I'm trying to think of a game perspective. Like you're in charge of a team and they kind of do their own thing, but you're
yeah,
supposed to be calling out the shots, but these people
yeah.
they kind of know what they were doing. So
hmm Yeah, yeah. So that's, I mean, and that's basically the plot of the plot of the show. She's a commander, and these 86, they're fighting these wars, and they're on the battlefield. And to be honest, they're humans, so they're basically being sent to die, and I think that's like the main premise of the show and her internal struggle. So I'll leave the story at that for now, but tell me, how'd you feel about the characters?
honestly, I I might just sound like maybe I'm heartless, but I didn't really care
Oh,
for
he's
the
a
characters like that.
hater.
Especially like when people were dying, I was
Mhm.
like, dang, that's crazy. All right, next thing.
Yo,
I feel
I
like the
hate this
show
man.
I feel like the show probably had like a good point where they were like building up the characters and developing them. But me personally, I just didn't really care, to be honest. I was just like, oh, okay. I will admit when it got to like the final four people, then I
Mhm.
was like, okay. I started to pay attention a little bit more. I was like, okay, I kind of care about these people. But the other people that were dying left and right, so I was like, bro, carry these people away.
Ah,
So
carry them away. Hey. No,
carry them
no,
away.
no, no. So I'll say this. So the main character, knows that what's his name? Shin or the
Yeah,
Undertaker.
yeah.
Like to
Undertaker's
me,
like his other name, but yeah.
I enjoy the relationship between the characters because I like how they all felt like a family in a sense, and
Mhm.
these 86, they didn't really like any of the handlers. They didn't like any of them at all. I think they had a joke
Yeah.
how when in a couple of what they got all the handlers to, like either like commit suicide or leave or whatever because they just couldn't handle the pressure. But I like the interactions in between the characters. I felt like the squad. I felt like they felt like a family, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah, and I think
That's one thing I did notice.
I think they get a good job just because you have to understand there's a lot of the 86, and there's only and the girl, the military commander Fladlene, there's only one of her, but I think they get a good job at least fleshing out enough of the characters that you kind of get a chance of the personality. And I felt their deaths, like when one of them would die, I'm like wow, like like they would like cry or try to hide their emotions, this, that, and the third, or you know.
Mhm.
So I characters were solid to me for what they had. I'll say this. I knew more about these characters than I did Class 1A of My Hero. All right, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
Come on,
I
man.
guess.
Come on.
I
Well,
did
with
feel
what we have in
bad. Like,
like
don't get me
12
wrong. Like,
episodes.
you did do good. They did do a good job, I would say. I'm trying to think of why I didn't like it that much. Like
Hmm.
the characters felt fine to me, but just like the fact that I'm like, it kind of felt predictable. Like, okay, this person's gonna die. Like, I already
Okay.
knew this person was gonna die. You know, there was some tropes. I'm like, okay, like it was kind of obvious. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's why I was kind of like I wasn't too connected with the character like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't bad though. Don't get me wrong. This show is a solid 7.5 to me.
Mm-hmm.
7.5. So
7.5. Nah, I feel like the show's an 8. You know, I think the like the OST, I think was I don't think any of the tracks were crazy, but I think they had like a couple of hits in there. I don't
nah,
You don't like any of the songs on there?
they ain't saying nothing to me, bro.
None stood out. I had a couple
They
that
ain't saying
stood
nothing
out
to
to
me.
me. I need to go back and
Uh,
see if they have a playlist. I think Sound Design was cool.
yeah.
How'd you feel about the animation?
I didn't like the whole like robotic though when it got to the whole robots thing, the whole CGI. The CGI wasn't bad, don't get me wrong. That was
I,
actually probably one of the
mhm.
best
Yeah.
CGIs like lately. So
Yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
bad. It's just that I didn't like how the robots look. Like they look like some kind of like spider ant thing going around.
Yeah.
I kind of wish it was more like a humanoid kind of thing.
Yeah.
I would have felt more of like an impact with it, you know?
Yeah, I agree. The mechs they used were stupid. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys are in a war, and why are the mechs, right in the why is the body like right in the front with like no protection or nothing? To me,
Yeah, they could have
that felt
like designed it
very
a little bit
stupid.
better.
So I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? Yeah, I agree. I think if the mechs were humanoid, it could have been a little better. But I like the animation. I think it was solid. I don't know if it was.
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything like amazing, like fantastic, but it wasn't definitely wasn't bad. I think it was very serviceable. So to me, they
Yeah.
did a good job in that regard. Um, you know, and just like overall, when it comes to the story, um, I would say I don't know. I I I like a story with internal struggle, with classism and racism, and
Yeah.
what really got me, I think, at the end, or why I really like this show is that um, at some point they revealed to the main character, Vladlina, that all the 86 know that they will never make it out of the 86 because they were promised that if you serve 4 or 5 years, and if you serve all your terms, you'll make it out the 86 and you'll become a citizen. When the
Mhm.
reality is, when you get to your fourth year, they send you to the hardest possible location in the war zone, and basically they're not going to send you supplies, and you are on a death mission to die. And I think,
Yeah.
to me that realization that they had at that point in the show, that was like one of my favorite points. I was like, wow, like that's
I
really
do
crazy.
admit that that was more of like
Hmm.
a cliffhanger, not like cliffhanger, a plot twist for me. Like it was like
Yeah,
the climax basically of the show, and I was like, okay, this is like more interesting. And these people knew about that
yeah,
too. The 86
they
people,
knew
they
about it.
knew. That's what changed everything. I was like,
Hmm.
okay, this is now a little bit more. This is a game changer now
Hmm.
because these people knew they knew they were gonna die, but they still kind of played along with what's her name, valid whatever her name is, the main the person
Yeah,
that calling the shots, they kind of played
yeah.
along with it. They're like, yeah, but throughout the show they were saying like we should probably say something, but they're like, no, 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 we shouldn't say anything because that might be too much for her.
Right.
But they later like they told her, and
Hmm.
I like that. I do
Yeah.
admit that was a good point of the show. So
Yeah, and she did try to treat them like humans. Just you know, and she asked him one question. She was like, if you know you're gonna die, why don't you just run away? Why don't you just leave? And it was
yeah,
like, and it was like, you know what? We're 86, and we're gonna live and die by our own terms. And I was like,
yeah,
I gotta respect that. I was like, wow. I was like, I
I
really
couldn't
gotta
hate
respect
that.
that. I really got respect. Like the morals and the pride that they had, that the 86 had. I don't know that. I don't know, it was just something I don't think I've seen in the anime like that. Like that level of pride and just camaraderie, to me was amazing. So, I overall, like, I really enjoyed this show.
Yeah,
I mean, personally, I would give it an 8. I think it was very solid. Like, did this reinvent the wheel? Was this anything we haven't seen before? No, we've seen discrimination in anime before. We've seen mecha anime like this. You
yeah,
know, where, like, I mean, I guess Darling and Franks is kind of like that because there's like a special population of people who are delegated to fight. We've seen things like that, but
yeah,
I think for me, seeing their relationship, seeing someone try to seeing a Vladlina try to treat the 86 as humans, and not just humanoid or slaves or whatever you want to call them. To me, I think that was like the best point in this show. So that's why I gotta give it an 8.
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, I still stand with the 7.5, but the show wasn't bad. The show wasn't bad. So
show isn't bad.
yeah,
Uh,
that's it. 86 for y'all.
86, man.
Is there
Yeah.
anything you want to say?
Nah,
All right.
ain't nothing else I really gotta say. Solid show. Solid show. Yo, check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely check it out if you got some time. I say, if if you ain't got nothing to watch, put this on. It's a good time. It's a good time. Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's
Mhm.
86 with Straw Hat Yomo. And
Yeah, your boy Dcentos. Yes, sir.
all right.
All right.
And we are out. Peace.
Peace.